we first got married, you asked me if I would ever be interested in renewing our vows. And I thought, that's the silliest idea in the world. We got married. That's our vows.
You were almost Archie Bunker about it.
I was.
You know, I mean, you were.
I admit. Welcome to the show called Let's Talk Homeschool, brought to you by Apologia Educational Ministries. We're your hosts, Davis and Rachael Carmen, and today's show is titled Valentine's Day.
Hey.
Okay, Rachael, let's talk homeschool and marriage and love and all that good stuff. So, part of what we want to talk about, this is a marriage-themed podcast today. We're in February, Valentine's Day, and we want to talk about two anniversaries for sure. Our 25th anniversary and your parents' 60th anniversary. Now, we celebrated our 25th 13 years ago. We celebrated your parents' 60th just recently, this last Thanksgiving. So, but let's start with our own story. What do you remember about the things leading up to our 25th anniversary and or the day itself? Because we did some special things on that day.
We did. I think the thing that I made the 25th the most special to me was involving the kids. I think it was just such a blessing to show them how much we loved each other and how much we were dedicated to our marriage, because we wanted to showcase that. You know, your kids aren't around when you get married, or our kids weren't around when we got married the only time. And yet you want them to know that it's an important, serious thing. And so when we celebrated our 25th, I remember helping the girls. We had the dresses for the girls to wear. They went with me to pick them out and getting them picked out for them to wear, and them getting excited about being in the wedding. And they had bouquets to hold and carry. And then the young men, our sons, looked so dapper in their suits for that day. And so I think involving the children and talking about our wedding that they were not at, and all the preparations we went for that. I actually had my wedding dress altered so that I could wear it at our 25th anniversary, and the girls helped me with that because we got married in December. And so and it was in the 80s, so I had these big poofy, think Diana, big poofy sleeves, long sleeves, because it was in December, even though it was in Texas, it was cool. And doing an anniversary in June, I had the sleeves taken off and made it sleeveless. And so just the girls getting excited about seeing my dress and getting dressed up and getting our hair done. It was so great to do it with the kids. And then we did a family dance. And so including the kids in the dance, not just doing it just you and me. That was my favorite part about it. No,
that's a great way of saying it, involving the kids, because I'm going to back up for our listeners and let them know that, when we first got married, you asked me if I would ever be interested in renewing our vows. And I thought, that's the silliest idea in the world. We got married. That's our vows.
You were almost Archie Bunker about it.
I was.
You were.
I admit. But but I thought,
that's
seriously?
dumb.
Why?
Yeah.
I'll take you on dates. I'll get you flowers.
Right.
I'll be a really good husband.
That's right. Don't ask again. Yeah.
But something, I always love to say the story that something magical happened, not on our 5th, not on our 10th, but on our 15th wedding anniversary. I realized something was happening, that every year, including our 15th, I actually loved you more than the year before, more than on our 10th, more than our 5th, amazingly more than when we got married. And I thought, surely by the time you're married 15 years, some kind of doldrums sit in, that you kind of have to fight through the fact that you've just been married 15 years, you're in ruts, you got kids, life is busy, all the things that, you watch other people and you're kind of nervous, you try to avoid, but you also know that some things happen against your will. Yeah. And here I was 15 years married and more in love with you. So I started paying really close attention. And 16, 17, 18, 19th anniversary, and then on our 20th, and we always went on a really big vacation every 5th year. So we're going on our 20th anniversary vacation, and once again, I'm more in love with you. And yet we're facing some really tough things at that stage in our life and career and all. And I was just like, wow, at that point, I was warming up to the idea of renewing our vows.
And I didn't bring it up.
No, you didn't.
I didn't ask again. I mean, I got the memo. This was not an option.
So now I'm starting to talk to you about it. And so, a few years leading up to the 24th,
I said, we need to pause for that.
I think that'd be a really good idea.
I was absolutely shocked. I was like, wait, really, seriously? Because you had been so adamant to begin with.
Well, I think part of what happened is I viewed it differently. I viewed it as an opportunity to celebrate something that was really good in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's good to celebrate things because you don't always get very long before you got to work through an emergency or a trial or something difficult. And if this is going good, let's celebrate.
Yeah.
And so we did, and we did it.
We did it right.
We did it right. Your dad had married us, and so he was the minister to renew our vows. We invited 100+ people to sit in white chairs in our front yard.
Yeah.
Your boys escorted you.
My sons did, yeah.
Across the yard to our gazebo steps where you and I stood. We bought these, I don't want to say frozen, but these very chilled butterflies.
Well, it's a thing. I mean, you can do that.
And then you warm them up carefully right before you want to release them. And then we released them during part of the ceremony. And I was in charge of that. It was actually pretty cool doing it right. These are live creatures.
No, that wasn't really your moment. Your moment was the fireworks. That's what you were so
I wanted to light fireworks.
Yeah.
Because when we met, it was fireworks like I'd never experienced before. I was just like, who are you? I want to marry you. Let's get going. And so we got married 6 months from the day we met. Yeah. And it was fireworks. And so in part of my little speech during this 25th anniversary, I made some reference to that. And my oldest son, his cue was, I said a certain word so that when I said the word fireworks, the fuse would go off and the fireworks would be lit.
And it was dangerous.
It was dangerous. The fireworks went flying all over the place. We were fortunate no one got hurt.
That's right, or nothing burned. I mean, it was dangerous, but you love your fireworks, so I'm glad that that's over.
Yeah, I'm glad. Honestly, I'm
the
glad.
Butterfly were the highlight.
Well, the highlight was the dance because.
Well, that's fair.
If you're watching this podcast right now, you probably are looking at me thinking, "I bet that guy can dance." You were wrong. But I did take several weeks of lessons. We had a choreographer help us, and honestly, I was doing okay during the rehearsals, but I was getting really nervous 4 days before, 3 days before, 2 days before.
Day of. Didn't she come like...
Well, one day before, and I'm thinking, okay, I think I got this, but I'm not 100% sure.
But you were the cool cat on the day of.
Man.
You did great.
It's literally, it's like it all came together 3 hours before I'm supposed to hit the dance floor.
You did
and
great.
So we opened up our driveway, and you and I started the dance. It was to the country song "Stuck on You," and we're coming together. We're doing our dances. Then the kids join, and we're doing it. And we got it on video. It was great, and it's true when I say this. That was one of the best days of my life.
Yeah, it's
top
true.
5 for sure.
It's true, and I think the importance is your kids need to see that. Your kids need to see that your marriage is valuable and that we're celebrating and prioritizing and not just once. I mean, we've talked before about marriage and how I do a whole talk about stand by your man and different things you can do. And you and I have done talks on marriage before and just the little things that you can do to say, I love you and get your kids involved in that. And this was that with the cherry on top.
Yeah,
and I'm really, really glad we did it. So in that vein, we celebrated my parents' 50th wedding anniversary.
Right, 10 years ago.
And we did that upright,
too. We did it upright for them, yep.
We did a great party for them. They were in Texas at the time, and we did a nice party for them for that. And we went on a cruise with them to the Mediterranean, which was glorious to celebrate their 50th. And you know what? 10 years later, it's their 60th. And again, that's a big deal in a culture that has so many divorces and so few people make it to 60 years. You and I decided we needed to celebrate this.
Right.
And so we did.
We rented a clubhouse at a country club in town. We invited friends and family, and we ended up choosing Thanksgiving, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, because we knew our kids.
Technically, it was the Friday.
That's right, the Friday after Thanksgiving. But generally, we have all of our kids come to our place Thanksgiving. It's become a family tradition, and so we knew that was going to be a high probability of at least having all 7 of our kids, 4 spouses, 9 grandkids. Not easy to get everybody together. So that's why we chose the Friday after Thanksgiving. And their anniversary is September 1st. So it's not that far off from their anniversary. And we had other family members. So your dad's sister.
His only sister and her husband came.
And then your mom's only
brother came, and his wife. Yeah. And so that was lovely. So it was more intimate than it was at their 50th. But again, I wanted our kids and now our grandkids to see marriage is a thing, and it's worth celebrating and prioritizing and making a big deal out of, especially today. Yeah. So we have 4 of our 7 are married, and as they are continuing on in their marriages, and as we have another 3 that want to be married, we wanted to say, this is what we do, and this is what we celebrate. And I think it was a real blessing to Mom and Dad, too.
It was. Well, all the kids, their grandkids, said a word, a blessing, recounted memories that were special to them. And it was great to hear all of them say something. And then Paul, who was a pastor for 50 years, he said a few words, and it was a great family moment, coming together, enjoying a good meal where we didn't have to set up, we didn't have to clean up. We just got to all enjoy the evening together. Had a photographer there to take family pictures and to commemorate the moment. It was special. It was special in a really big way.
And all that to say, now that we're in February and there's all the, commercialization around St. Valentine, and that story is the original story is worth gathering around. And I believe, here's a shout out to Focus on the Family's Odyssey. I think Odyssey has an episode about Valentine's, and it is worth doing some research and reading about the original Valentine or listening to that episode of Odyssey. We did that many times. But really digging down into love and 1 Corinthians 13 and marriage and prioritizing those things and showing those things to your children and celebrating the gift of marriage. That is something to incorporate into your celebration in your homeschool this month, something that you can do together. Maybe even memorizing 1 Corinthians 13 together as a family. But it's important for us to celebrate these moments.
That's right. So it's Valentine's month. Make sure your spouse knows you love them and are committed to them for life. All right, this is Let's Talk Homeschool, brought to you by Apologia Educational Ministries, and we've been your hosts, David and Rachael Carmen. Until next time, we are walking by faith and enjoying the homeschooling adventure of a lifetime. See you next time.